Dr. Lisa Martinez pressed her face against the cold window of the research ship Aurora. The planet below looked dead. No green plants, no blue water, just gray rock and dust everywhere. She had been studying alien life for 10 years, but this place looked like nothing could live here. You sure the readings are right? Captain John Blake asked as he walked up behind her. His boots made heavy sounds on the metal floor. Lisa looked at her small computer screen again. The bioscanner shows something alive down there, something big. She pointed to a red dot on the screen. It's about 2 miles from where we plan to land. John scratched his beard. He was a good captain, but he always worried about his crew. Could be dangerous. Maybe we should just fly over and take pictures. We came all this way, Lisa said. If there's life here, we need to study it. That's why Earth sent us. The Aurora landed with a soft bump. Lisa put on her spacesuit and checked all the buttons and tubes. The air outside would not keep her alive. Ryan Cooper, their security guard, walked over carrying a big gun. I'm coming with you, Ryan said. His voice sounded strange through the radio in his helmet. It's probably just a plant or something small, Lisa said. But she was happy Ryan wanted to come. This planet felt wrong somehow. They walked across the rocky ground. Lisa's feet made crunching sounds on the small stones. The sky was orange, and 2 small suns hung low like dying fires. After walking for an hour, they saw it. Ow. What in the world is that? Ryan whispered. In front of them sat something that looked like a giant egg. It was as big as a car and had a smooth, dark surface. But this was not like any egg Lisa had ever seen. Patterns of blue and green light moved across its surface like living art. The lights pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Lisa walked closer. Her heart beat fast with excitement. It's beautiful, she said. Beautiful and probably deadly, Ryan said. He kept his gun ready. Should call the captain. Lisa took out her scanner and pointed it at the egg. Oh, the numbers on the screen made her eyes go wide. Yeah, Ryan, there's definitely something alive in there. Something big. Eh? The egg seemed to sense her presence. The lights on its surface began to pulse faster. The blue patterns grew brighter and moved in circles around the egg. Lisa stepped even closer. Lisa, don't, Ryan warned. But Lisa felt drawn to the egg like it was calling to her. She reached out her hand and almost touched the surface, then stopped. It's responding to me, she said with wonder in her voice. They called Captain Blake. On the radio, within an hour, half the crew had come down to see the strange egg. Amy Johnson, their pilot, took pictures from every angle. Dr. Kevin Hayes, who studied rocks and dirt, took samples of the ground around the egg. We're taking it back to the ship, Captain Blake decided. Lisa, this is your area. What do you think is inside? Lisa studied her scanner readings, something that has never been seen before. The DNA patterns don't match anything in our computers, but it's definitely alive and growing. Getting the egg onto the ship was hard work. It was heavy and smooth, making it difficult to carry. But the crew worked together using ropes and a small lifting machine. All the time, the egg's lights kept pulsing, almost like it was excited. Once they got the egg into the ship's science lab, Lisa set up a special room to keep it safe. The room had thick glass walls and machines to control the air and temperature. She also put cameras inside to watch the egg all the time. Are you sure this is safe? Asked Amy. She stood outside the glass room looking worried. What if something dangerous comes out? We don't know what's inside yet, Lisa said, but look at how it responds. She walked up to the glass wall. The egg's lights immediately got brighter and began moving in new patterns. It seems to know I'm here. Dr. Hayes frowned. It could mean it sees you as food, or it could mean something else, Lisa said. She had a feeling this creature was special. Something in the way the lights moved seemed almost like it was trying to talk to her. Over the next few days, Lisa spent most of her time watching the egg. She brought her meals to the lab and even slept on a small bed nearby. Crew members thought she was working too hard, but Lisa could not stay away. The egg seemed to like her presence. Whenever she came close, the lights danced. When she spoke to it, the patterns changed, as if it was listening. Lisa began talking to the egg like it was a pet. Good morning, she would say each day. How are you feeling today? Lights would Pulse in response. Ryan visited the lab often to check on security. Lisa, you're getting too attached to that thing. You don't know what it is. I'm a scientist, Ryan. This is what I do. But deep down, Lisa knew Ryan was right. She felt connected to whatever was inside the egg in a way she had never felt before. 3 weeks into their journey back to Earth, Lisa woke up to a different sound. Instead of the steady humming of the ship's engines, she heard a soft cracking. Noise. She jumped out of bed and ran to the glass wall. The egg was breaking. Small cracks appeared on the surface, and bright light leaked out like liquid sunshine. Lisa grabbed her camera and started recording. Captain Blake to the lab. Now she called over the ship's communication system. The cracks grew bigger. Pieces of the eggshell fell away, showing glimpses of something moving inside. Lisa's heart pounded with excitement and fear. After all these weeks of waiting, she was finally going to see what she had been caring for. The other crew members rushed into the lab, just as a large piece of shell broke off. What they saw inside made them all step back in surprise. A creature. Unlike anything they had ever imagined was pulling itself out of the egg, it had a long body covered in scales that seemed to be made of crystal. The scales caught the light and threw it back in rainbow colors. The creature had 6 legs ending in sharp claws, and its head was shaped like a mix between a lizard and an insect. But the most amazing thing was its eyes. They were large and dark, and when they looked at Lisa, she felt like the creature could see into her soul. There was intelligence there, real thinking, not just animal instinct. The creature made a soft sound, almost like a bird singing. It looked around at all the people staring at it, then its eyes found Lisa again. It crawled toward the glass wall where she stood. "It's looking at you, Lisa," Captain Blake said quietly, "like it knows you." Lisa put her hand on the glass. Creature reached up with one of its front legs and touched the glass where her hand was. The moment their hands were separated only by the thin glass, Lisa felt something she had never felt before. It was like a warm feeling in her mind, like someone was gently touching her thoughts. "Hello, little one," she whispered. The creature's eyes seemed to brighten, and it made that soft singing sound again. Lisa knew her life had just changed forever. She had found something incredible, something that would change how humans understood life in the universe. But more than that, she felt like she had found family. The Interplanetary Research Facility in Colorado was bigger than most cities. Dr. Lisa Martinez walked through the long white hallways carrying a bag of food. It had been 2 months since they brought the creature back to Earth, and everything had changed. The creature, which Lisa had named Neo, was growing fast. Too fast. When it first came out of the egg, it was the size of a large dog. Now, it was as big as a small car, and still getting bigger every day. The scientists at the facility were amazed and worried at the same time. Lisa pushed open the heavy door to Neo's new home. The room was huge. With high ceilings and walls made of the strongest glass on Earth, Neo was sitting in the corner, its crystal scales catching the light from above. When it saw Lisa, it made a happy, chirping sound. "Good morning, Neo," Lisa said with a smile. She put her hand on the glass wall, and Neo came over to touch it with one of its claws. The warm feeling in Lisa's mind told her that Neo was happy to see her. Dr. Kevin Hayes, the director of the facility, watched from the observation room above. He did not look happy. Next to him stood Colonel Susan Wright, a serious woman in a military uniform who had been asking too many questions about Neo. "It's getting too big," Dr. Hayes said to Lisa through the speaker system, "and too smart. Look at what it did yesterday." Lisa looked around the room. Neo had arranged its food bowls in perfect circles. It had also somehow moved the heavy metal. Toys they gave it into the shape of a star. Neo was not just growing in size, it was growing in intelligence too. "Neo is learning," Lisa said. "That's wonderful. Not scary." Colonel Wright stepped forward. "Dr. Martinez, we need to talk about what this creature really is. We've been studying it for weeks, and our tests show it has abilities we don't understand." Lisa frowned. "What kind of abilities?" "Yesterday, it walked through the wall," Dr. Hayes said. "The solid metal wall. Our cameras recorded it, but we still don't understand how." Lisa looked at Neo, who was now playing with a ball of light that seemed to float in its claws. "Neo, can you really walk through walls?" Neo looked up at her and chirped softly. Then it walked toward the glass wall. Lisa expected it to stop, but Neo kept going. It passed through the thick glass like it was made of air and stood next to Lisa in the hallway. The alarms started ringing immediately. Security guards came running with weapons, but Neo just sat down next to Lisa like a giant. Pettit looked confused by all the noise and angry voices. "It's okay," Lisa said, kneeling down next to Neo. "Nobody's going to hurt you." She could feel Neo's fear through their strange mental connection. "You just wanted to be closer to me, didn't you?"
Ow.
Neo nodded its head and made a soft, sad sound. "Get it back in the containment room now," Colonel Wright ordered. "Neo, you need to go back inside," Lisa said gently. "I know you don't like being separated from me, but it's safer for everyone." Neo looked at her with its big, intelligent eyes. Then it walked back through the glass wall and sat down inside its room. The alarms stopped, but the worried looks on everyone's faces did not go away. That night, Lisa stayed late at the facility. She brought her computer and some music to play for Neo. She had discovered that Neo loved classical music, especially pieces with violins. When she played Mozart, Neo would sway back and forth like it was dancing. "You're really special, aren't you?" Lisa said, sitting on the floor outside Neo's room. "I wish I could understand what you're thinking." Suddenly, Lisa heard a voice in her mind. It was not her own thoughts. The voice was young and curious, like a child asking questions. "Lisa sad?" "Neo, want help, Lisa?" Lisa's eyes went wide. "Neo, can you hear my thoughts?" Neo hear Lisa heartwords. Lisa hear Neo heartwords too. Lisa could hardly believe it. Neo was talking to her through some kind of telepathy. "How long have you been able to do this?" "Since Egg's Leap End." Neo tried to talk to other humans, but they no hear Neo heartwords. Only Lisa hear. Lisa felt tears in her eyes. Neo had been trying to communicate with everyone, but only she could hear it. "Neo, what are you? What kind of creature are you?" Neo not know. Neo remember big dark place with many stars, then sleep in Egg, then Lisa find Neo. Lisa is Neo family. Now, the word family made Lisa's heart feel warm. She had never married or had children. Her work studying alien life had been her whole world. But now, somehow, she had become a mother to this incredible being. Over the next few weeks, Lisa spent more time with Neo. She taught it about Earth and human culture. She showed it pictures of animals, plants, and cities. Neo was fascinated by everything, especially the animals. "Earth creatures small," Neo said in Lisa's mind one day while they watched a nature documentary about lions. "But beautiful Neo-like Earth creatures." "They might be small to you," Lisa laughed, "but lions are pretty big to humans." Neo made a sound that Lisa had learned was its way of laughing. "Neo, be careful of small Earth creatures. No want hurt Lisa's world family." Lisa was amazed by how gentle Neo was. Despite its size and strange abilities, it was always careful not to break anything or hurt anyone. When Dr. Hayes came to check on it, Neo would sit very still so it wouldn't scare him, but not everyone was happy about Neo's growth. Colonel Wright visited the facility more often, always asking questions about Neo's abilities. She brought other military people who took notes and whispered to each other. One day, Lisa overheard Colonel Wright talking to Dr. Hayes in his office. "This creature could be the most powerful weapon we've ever seen," Colonel Wright was saying. "It can walk through walls. It's growing bigger every day, and it's clearly intelligent. We need to study its combat abilities." "It's not a weapon," Dr. Hayes said. "It's a living being. It's clearly attached to Dr. Martinez. That attachment could be useful. Could use Martinez to control it." Lisa felt angry. They were talking about Neo like it was a thing, not a person. She rushed back to Neo's room and found it sitting sadly in the corner. "Neo hear angry voices," it said in her mind. "Humans want to use Neo for hurting?" "Some humans do," Lisa said honestly. "But I won't let them. You're my family, Neo. I'll protect you." Neo moved closer to the glass. "Neo protect Lisa too. Neo feel danger coming." Lisa was about to ask what Neo meant when the alarms started ringing. Again, But this time, it was not because of Neo. A voice came over the speakers. Code read, "Containment breach in Lab 7. All personnel evacuate immediately." Lisa looked at the security cameras and saw something terrible. But another part of the facility. A different alien creature had broken out of its cage. It was smaller than Neo, but looked very dangerous. It had too many teeth and claws that dripped with green liquid. Scientists were running and screaming. "Neo, stay here," Lisa said. "I need to help evacuate people." But Neo was already standing up. Its crystal scales began to glow brighter. "Neo, help Neo protect Lisa's work family." Before Lisa could stop it, Neo walked through the glass wall again. This time it did not trigger any alarms. Somehow, Neo had learned to move through the facility's security systems without being detected. Lisa ran after Neo, but it was much faster than her. By the time she reached Lab 7, Neo was already there. The dangerous creature had cornered 3 scientists, including Dr. Hayes. Its claws were raised. Ready to attack, Neo stepped between the creature and the humans. Da-da-da-da-da. It made a sound Lisa had never heard before. A deep, rumbling growl that seemed to shake the entire building. The dangerous creature stopped and looked at Neo with fear in its eyes. Neo did not attack. Instead, it simply stood there, making itself look bigger and more intimidating. The other creature backed away slowly, then ran back into its cage and cowered in the corner. "Incredible," Dr. Hayes whispered. "It protected us." Neo turned to Lisa and made its happy chirping sound. "Neo protects Lisa's work family. All humans safe now." Lisa hugged Neo's large head, not caring that its scales were cold and hard. "Thank you, Neo. You're the bravest creature I've ever known." Later that evening, Lisa sat with Neo in its room. The facility was quiet now, and most of the other scientists had gone home. But Lisa knew that word of what Neo had done would spread. Soon even more people would want to study it, test it, or use it. "Neo," she said softly, "I think some difficult times are coming. People are going to want to know more about what you can do." Neo looked at her with its wise eyes. "Neo, not afraid. Neo, have Lisa. Lisa, have Neo. Families stay together." Lisa smiled, but she felt worried. She had a feeling that their peaceful time was about to end. Somewhere in the galaxy, other beings might know what Neo really was, and when they found out that Neo was alive and growing stronger every day, they might come to Earth. But for now, Lisa was content to sit with her strange, wonderful child and listen to the soft sounds it made when it was happy. Whatever came next, they would face it together. The black ships appeared in Earth's sky without warning. Lisa Martinez stood at the window of the research facility, watching the strange vessels hover silently above the clouds. They were unlike any human ship she had ever seen. Their surfaces seemed to bend light, making them hard to look at directly. "Lisa's scared," Neo said in her mind. The creature had grown even bigger in the past month. It was now the size of a small building, and its crystal scales glowed brighter when it was. "Worried? I'm okay, Neo," Lisa said, but she was not telling the truth. Something about those ships made her feel cold inside. Dr. Kevin Hayes burst into the observation room, his face pale with worry. "Lisa, we need to talk. Visitors want to see Neo immediately." "What visitors?" Lisa asked. "Representatives from something called the Galactic Council. They arrived an hour ago and demanded to speak with whoever is caring for the creature." Lisa felt Neo's fear grow stronger in her mind. "Neo hear bad thoughts from skyships," it said. "They know Neo. They're afraid of Neo." Before Lisa could ask what Neo meant, the door opened. A woman walked in wearing robes that seemed to be made of starlight. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes were completely black. Behind her came 2 humans in military uniforms and Colonel Susan Wright. "Dr. Martinez." The blue woman said in perfect English, "I am Ambassador Zara Chen, speaking for the Galactic Council. We need to discuss the creature you have been harboring." Lisa said angrily, "Neo is not a criminal. It's a living being that I've been caring for." Ambassador Chen looked through the glass at Neo, who had moved to the far corner of its room. "Dr. Martinez, do you know what species your creature belongs to?" "No," Lisa admitted. "We've never seen anything like Neo before. That is because its kind was supposed to be extinct. Ambassador Chen said grimly. What you call Neo belongs to a species we know as Void Stalkers. They are the most dangerous predators the galaxy has ever known. Lisa felt like the ground was falling away beneath her feet. That's impossible. Neo is gentle. It protects people. Colonel Wright stepped forward. Dr. Martinez, we've been in contact with the Galactic Council for the past week. They've told us things about this creature that you need to know. Ambassador Chen activated a small device, and holographic images appeared in the air. The images showed creatures that looked like Neo, but much larger and more frightening. They were attacking spaceships and destroying entire cities. Void Stalkers once terrorized the galaxy, Ambassador Chen explained. They could phase through any barrier, disable technology with their bioelectric fields, and grow to the size of spacecraft. A single adult Void Stalker could destroy an entire fleet. Lisa watched the horrible images, but she could not believe what she was seeing. Neo would never do those things. Perhaps not yet, Ambassador Chen said. But Void Stalkers become more aggressive as they mature. The creature you call Neo is still young. When it reaches full size, its predatory instincts will take over. Neo different, came a voice in Lisa's mind. Neo not want to hurt anyone. Neo love Lisa. The Galactic Council fought a war against the Void Stalkers that lasted for centuries. Ambassador Chen continued. We finally drove them to extinction, or so we thought. This creature represents a threat to every living being in the galaxy. Dr. Hayes looks sick. What are you saying we should do? The creature must be destroyed immediately, Colonel Wright said. We cannot risk it becoming what its ancestors were. No, Lisa shouted. Neo is not its ancestors. It chooses to be gentle. It chooses to protect rather than destroy. Ambassador Chen looked sad but determined. Dr. Martinez, I understand your attachment to the creature, but you do not understand what Void Stalkers are capable of. They are born killers. It is in their nature. Lisa felt Neo's panic growing stronger. Through their mental link, she could sense that Neo was becoming more and more frightened. The creature's scales began to glow brighter, and the lights in the room started to flicker. You're scaring it, Lisa said. Please, just give Neo a chance to prove itself. The decision has been made, Colonel Wright said. She pulled out a communication device. Bring in the containment team. We're ending this now. Soldiers in heavy armor began entering the facility, carried weapons that hummed with energy. Lisa could see through the glass that Neo was backing against the far wall of its room, its eyes wide with terror. Lisa helped Neo, it pleaded in her mind. Neo not want to die. Neo not monster like others. Dr. Martinez, step away from the containment area, Colonel Wright ordered. Lisa did not move. I won't let you hurt Neo. The creature's dangerous, Ambassador Chen said. Even now, as it becomes frightened, it is starting to show its true nature. Look. Lisa looked at Neo and gasped. The creature's scales were glowing so brightly that they hurt to look at. The metal walls of its room were beginning to bend and twist. The electronic equipment nearby was sparking and smoking. Neo, calm down, Lisa said. Please, you're making things worse. But Neo could not control itself. Its fear was turning into something else. Lisa could feel through their mental connection that Neo was starting to feel angry. All the gentle feelings were being pushed aside by something darker and more primitive. The soldiers raised their weapons. Target is showing hostile behavior, one of them reported. Neo no want to hurt anyone, the creature said in Lisa's mind, but its mental voice was changing. It was becoming deeper and more frightening. But Neo will protect self. Neo will protect Lisa. The lights in the entire facility went out. Emergency lighting came on a moment later, casting everything in red shadows. Through the glass, Lisa could see Neo's scales pulsing with an inner fire. It's starting, Ambassador Chen whispered. The creature is reverting to its true nature. One of the soldiers fired his weapon. The energy beam hit Neo's scales and bounced off harmlessly. Neo roared, a sound so loud and terrible that the glass windows began to crack. Stop, Lisa screamed. She ran toward Neo's containment room, but Colonel Wright grabbed her arm. It's too dangerous, the colonel said. Creature is no longer the pet you thought it was. But Lisa broke free and ran to the glass wall. Neo, listen to me. Yep. To calm down? You're proving them right. Neo looked at her, and for a moment, its eyes cleared. Lisa had said in her mind, its voice sounding young and scared again. Neo, sorry. Neo, not mean to be scary. I know, Lisa said, putting her hand on the cracked glass. But you have to control yourself. Show them that you're not what they think you are. Neo took a deep breath and closed its eyes. Slowly, the glow from its scales began to dim. The twisted metal walls stopped bending. Electronics stopped, sparking. See? Lisa said to the others. Neo can control itself. It chooses to be peaceful. But Ambassador Chen shook her head. What you just witnessed proves my point. The creature lost control when it felt threatened. That is exactly how Voidstalkers behave before they become fully mature killers. Colonel Wright nodded. The risk is too great. We're proceeding with termination. Wait, Dr. Hayes said suddenly. What if we gave it a test? Everyone looked at him. What kind of test? Ambassador Chen asked. You say Voidstalkers are born killers, Dr. Hayes said. But what if this one really is different? What if we put it in a situation where it has to choose between following its instincts and protecting others? Ambassador Chen considered this. The Galactic Council might accept such a test, but it would have to be a real situation, not something artificial. If it fails the test? Colonel Wright asked. Then we destroy it immediately, Ambassador Chen said. But if it passes, the Galactic Council will consider allowing it to live under strict supervision. Lisa felt a small spark of hope. Neo, did you hear that? They might give you a chance to prove yourself, Neo understand, the creature said. In her mind, Neo will show them. Neo, not monster. Neo is Lisa's family. But even as Lisa felt hopeful, she also felt afraid. What kind of test would they give Neo? And what would happen if Neo's instincts were stronger than its love for her? Colonel Wright was already making arrangements. The test will happen soon, she told Lisa. I suggest you prepare your creature for what's coming. Lisa spent the rest of the day sitting with Neo, trying to keep it calm. She could feel that the creature was still scared, but it was also determined to prove itself. Neo will be brave, it told her. Neo will show them that love's stronger than fear. Love's stronger than old instincts. Lisa hoped Neo was right. She had a feeling that the test would be harder than any of them imagined. And if Neo failed, she would lose the only family she had ever truly loved. Outside the facility, the black ships continued to hover in the sky, waiting to see if the galaxy's most feared predator could choose to be something different than what it was born to be. The test came sooner than anyone expected. Lisa Martinez was sleeping in her small room at the research facility when the alarms woke her up. But these were not the normal facility alarms. These sounds were deeper, more frightening. The sounds that meant Earth itself was in danger. Lisa ran to the main control room where everyone was gathered around the big screens. What she saw made her heart stop. Hundreds of strange ships were coming toward Earth from deep space. The ships looked like they were made of metal and darkness with no lights or windows. What are those? Lisa asked Dr. Kevin Hayes, who was staring at the screens with wide eyes. We don't know, he said. They appeared at the edge of our solar system an hour ago. They're not responding to any of our messages. Ambassador Zara Chen stood nearby, her blue face even paler than usual. These are convergence ships, she said quietly. This is very bad. Colonel Susan Wright turned to her. Convergence? What is that? They are artificial beings, Ambassador Chen explained.
Ow.
They were created by a dead civilization as thinking machines. But something went wrong. Now they travel from planet to planet, taking over all life and turning it into more machines like themselves. On the screens, Lisa could see Earth's defense ships flying out to meet the invaders. The human ships looked tiny compared to the dark. Vessels approaching Earth. She watched as the first battle began. It was over in minutes. The convergence ships destroyed the human fleet easily. Their weapons went right through Earth's shields like they were not even there. The human weapons did no damage to the enemy ships at all. Our technology is useless against them, Colonel Wright said with despair in her voice. How do we fight something like this? Ambassador Chen looked grim. Most civilizations cannot fight. The convergence. They adapt to any weapon used against them. The only way to defeat them is with something they have never seen before. Lisa suddenly understood. She looked at the screens showing Neo in its containment room. The creature was pressed against the glass, watching the battle in the sky. Through their mental connection, Lisa could feel Neo's anger at seeing Earth attacked. You want to use Neo? Lisa said. The creature's abilities might be able to hurt the convergence ships, Ambassador Chen admitted. Void Stalkers have powers that work differently than normal technology. Colonel Wright nodded. It's our only chance. But can we trust it? If it decides to attack our ships too? Lisa felt Neo's thoughts in her mind. And Neo want to help, the creature said. Earth is Neo's home now. Neo protect home and family. I'll go with Neo, Lisa said. If it has me nearby, it will stay focused on protecting rather than destroying. Absolutely not, Colonel Wright said. It's too dangerous. Neo won't fight without me there, Lisa said firmly. I'm the only one it trusts completely, and this is the test, isn't it? Neo has to choose between following its destroyer instincts or protecting the people it cares about. Ambassador Chen considered this. The council did agree to test the creature. Under real conditions, this situation certainly qualifies. More alarms started ringing. On the screens, they could see that some convergence ships had reached Earth's atmosphere. Cities around the world were reporting attacks. The enemy was not just destroying things. They were taking people and turning them into machines. We're running out of time, Dr. Hayes said. Make the decision now. Colonel Wright looked at the screens showing the destruction, then at Neo in its room. Fine, but the creature goes on one of our ships with a full military crew. And if it turns against us, we destroy it immediately. Within an hour, Lisa found herself on board the military ship Defiant. The ship was smaller than the big passenger ships she was used to, but it was built for fighting. The crew members looked nervous as they prepared for battle. Neo had been moved to the ship's cargo bay, which was the only space big enough to hold it. The creature was now almost as big as a house, but it had managed to fit itself into the space by curling up like a giant cat. Lisa, Neo said in her mind as she approached. Neo scared, not scared of fighting, scared of becoming monster-like ancestors. Lisa put her hand on Neo's smooth scales. You won't become a monster. You're choosing to protect people. You a hero, not a monster. What if Neo lose control? What if old instincts too strong? Then I'll be here to remind you who you really are, Lisa said. We're family, remember? Family helps each other stay on the right path. Captain Matt Turner, the ship's commander, came over to them. Dr. Martinez, we're approaching the enemy. Fleet, how does this thing fight? Lisa looked at Neo. I don't really know, Neo. What do you need to do? Neo's eyes began to glow softly. Neo need to get close to enemy ships. Neo can walk through their metal walls like glass walls at home. Neo can touch their thinking machines and make them stop working. Captain Turner frowned. You mean it has to leave our ship and go into space? Neo not need air like humans, the creature explained through Lisa. Neo can live in star cold for a short time. This is insane, one of the crew members muttered. But Captain Turner was already giving orders. Open the cargo bay doors. Let's see what this creature can do. The bay doors opened, and space appeared beyond them. Neo stood up and walked toward the opening. Lisa felt its determination through their mental link, but also its fear. Wait, Lisa said. She grabbed a spacesuit from the wall. I'm coming with you. No, Captain Turner said. It's too dangerous. But Lisa was already putting on the suit.
Oh, yeah?
Needs me close by. Someone has to record what happens for the Galactic Council. Before anyone could stop her, Lisa activated the magnetic boots on her suit and walked over to Neo. The creature gently picked her up in one of its claws. Being very careful not to hurt her, together, they stepped out into space. The view was both beautiful and terrifying. Stars stretched out forever in all directions, but nearby were the dark shapes of convergent ships. The enemy vessels were huge, much bigger than they had looked on the screens. Neo began moving toward the nearest convergence ship. It did not fly like a machine. Instead, it seemed to swim through space like it was moving through water.
Alisa.
held safely in Neo's claw, watched in amazement when they reached the first enemy ship. Neo simply walked through its metal hull. Lisa felt a strange, tingling sensation as they passed through the solid wall. Inside, the ship was full of mechanical creatures that looked like a mix of robots and insects. The Convergence beings immediately attacked them. Their weapons shot beams of energy and metal projectiles. But nothing could hurt Neo, the energy. Beams passed right through it, and the metal pieces bounced off its crystal scales. Neo began touching the ship's computers and machines. Everywhere it touched, the machines stopped working. Lights went out. The mechanical creatures froze in place. Lisa realized that Neo's bioelectric field was somehow scrambling all the ship's systems. "It's working," Lisa said into her radio. "Neo is disabling their technology." But then something unexpected happened. As Neo destroyed more and more of the ship's systems, Lisa felt its mental voice changing. The gentle thoughts were being replaced by something darker and more aggressive. "Neo feel good when destroying," it said in her mind, and its voice sounded different. "Neo feel strong. Neo feel like true hunter." Lisa felt afraid. This was exactly what Ambassador Chen had warned about. Neo was starting to enjoy the destruction. His predator instincts were awakening. "Neo, remember why we're here," Lisa said. "We're protecting Earth. We're protecting our family." But Neo was already moving to the next ship, and it was moving faster now. Its movements were becoming more aggressive, more like a predator hunting prey in the next convergence ship. Neo did not just disable the machines. It began destroying them completely, tearing them apart with its claws. Lisa could feel through their connection that Neo was starting to see the enemy ships not as threats to be stopped, but as prey to be hunted. "Neo, slow down," Lisa said. "You're losing control." Control? Neo's mental voice was getting deeper and more frightening. "Neo is Void Stalker. Neo born to hunt and destroy. This feel right. This feel like home." Through the radio, Lisa could hear Captain Turner's voice. "Dr. Martinez, the creature is working, but our sensors show it's becoming more aggressive. Some of our own ships are reporting that it's looking at them like it might attack them next." Lisa felt panic rising in her chest. This was the test. Right now, Neo had to choose between becoming the monster everyone expected it to be, or staying the gentle creature she had raised. The choice would determine not just Neo's fate, but the fate of Earth itself. Lisa Martinez felt Neo's claws tighten around her as the creature moved toward another convergent ship. Through their mental connection, she could sense that Neo was fighting a war inside its own mind. The gentle being she had raised was battling against thousands of years of predator instincts. "Neo see human ships," the creature said in her mind, but its voice was darker now. "Neo wonder if humans taste good. Neo wonder if humans make good prey." "No," Lisa said firmly into her helmet radio. "Neo, those are our friends. Those are the people we're protecting. Remember Captain Turner? Remember Dr. Hayes? Our family too." But Neo was already turning toward the nearest human ship. Lisa could feel its hunger growing stronger. The Void Stalker instincts were telling Neo that it was the apex predator here, and everything else was potential food. "Neo hungry," it said. "Neo want to hunt something that fights back. Convergence machines no fun. Too easy to kill." The human ship began moving away from them, but Neo was faster. It swam through space like a shark following the scent of blood. Lisa watched in horror as Neo reached toward the ship with one of its free claws. "Neo, stop," Lisa shouted. "If you hurt them, you'll become exactly what everyone said you were. You'll prove that love can't change nature." For a moment, Neo paused. Its claw was just inches from the human ship's hull. Lisa could see the faces of the crew members through the ship's windows. They looked terrified. "Lisa still believe Neo can be good?" the creature asked, and for a moment its voice sounded young and uncertain again. "I've always believed in you," Lisa said. "From the day you hatched, I knew you were special. Not because you were powerful, but because you chose to be gentle. That choice is still yours to make." Neo looked at the human ship, then at Lisa in its claw. "But Neo feels so hungry." Angry voice in Neo's head say, "Kill, hunt, destroy." Voice. "Very loud now, I know," Lisa said softly. "But there's another voice too, isn't there?" The voice that says protect, love, family. Which voice do you want to listen to? Neo was quiet for a long moment. Round them the battle continued. More convergent ships were arriving, and they were starting to overwhelm Earth's defenses. If Neo did not continue fighting the enemy, Earth would fall. But if Neo gave in to its instincts, it would become the monster that the galaxy feared. Lisa, Neo said finally, Neo choose family. Neo choose love. Neo choose to be better than ancestors. With that, Neo pulled its claw away from the human ship and turned back toward the Convergence fleet. But now it moved differently. Instead of hunting like a predator, it moved like a guardian protecting its home. Captain Turner, Lisa said into her radio, Neo is back under control. We're going to finish this fight. Understood, came the reply. Be careful out there. Neo approached the largest Convergence ship, which seemed to be controlling all the others. This ship was different. It was not just metal and machines. Lisa could see organic parts mixed in with the technology, as if the Convergence had absorbed living beings and turned them into part of their network. This ship hurt many people, Neo said sadly. Neo can feel their pain. Neo will free them. Instead of simply destroying the ship, Neo did something different. It placed its claws gently on the hull and sent its bioelectric energy through the ship in carefully controlled pulses. Lisa watched through the ship's transparent sections as the organic parts began to separate from the machines. People who had been turned into part of the Convergence network suddenly became themselves again. They looked confused and scared, but they were human once more. You're freeing them, Lisa said with wonder. You're not just destroying the ships, you're saving the people inside. Neo learned from Lisa, the creature said. Lisa always say life precious. Even enemy life can be saved sometimes. Working together, Neo and Lisa moved from ship to ship. Neo would disable the Convergence technology while saving any living beings that had been absorbed into their network. It was slow work, and Neo had to fight against its predator instincts every moment. But with each life saved, Neo seemed to grow stronger in its choice to be a protector rather than a destroyer. The last Convergence ship was the most difficult. It was heavily defended and contained thousands of absorbed beings. As Neo approached it, the ship fired everything it had. Its energy beams, missiles, and strange weapons that seemed to bend space itself. Nothing could hurt Neo. But the attacks triggered its defensive instincts. Lisa felt the creature's anger rising again as it took damage to its pride, if not its body. Neo want to destroy this ship completely, it said, its mental voice growing dark again. Neo want to show them who is strongest. No, Lisa said. Joe. Them who is kindest? Show them that strength isn't about destroying everything you can. True strength is protecting everything you love. Neo hesitated. Then, instead of attacking, it did something that surprised everyone watching from the human ships. It wrapped itself around the Convergence vessel like it was giving it a hug. What's it doing? Captain Turner's voice came through the radio. It's choosing to be better, Lisa said with tears in her eyes. Neo sent gentle pulses of its bioelectric energy through the ship. Instead of destroying the technology, it carefully separated it from the living beings inside. One by one, thousands of people from different worlds floated free from the ship, alive in themselves again. The Convergence ship, now empty of living beings, simply shut down and drifted harmlessly in space. The battle was over. Earth was safe. And Neo had proven that it could choose to be something different than what it was born to be. Years passed after that day. The Galactic Council officially recognized Neo as a sentient being with full rights. They also declared Earth under Neo's protection, which meant no hostile force would dare attack it. Lisa established a research center, where humans and aliens could study together. Neo helped with the research, using its unique abilities to solve problems and protect researchers who worked with dangerous specimens. But the most important thing was that Neo had found its true family. Lisa, now much older with gray hair, still visited Neo every day. They would sit together and watch the stars, talking about science and life and the future. Lisa and Neo said one day as they watched a beautiful sunset, Neo happy it chose family over instincts. I'm proud of you, Lisa said, patting Neo's massive head. You proved that who we choose to be is more important than what we were born to be. Neo had also formed bonds with other humans. Dr. Hayes, now retired, still brought Neo books to read. Captain Turner visited often to share stories of space adventures. Even some of the people Neo had saved from the convergent ships came to visit and thank their savior. When Lisa grew old and sick, Neo stayed by her bedside. Neo scared, it admitted. What happened to Neo when Lisa gone? I'll still have family, Lisa said weakly. Family isn't just one person. It's everyone who loves you and everyone you love. Peter Wong will take care of you. Claire Johnson promised to bring her children to visit you. Lisa teach Neo most important lesson, Neo said. Love's stronger than fear. Love stronger than instincts. Love make family. Lisa smiled. You taught me something too. You taught me that love can change anything, even the galaxy's most feared predator. When Lisa passed away peacefully in her sleep, Neo grieved like any family member would, but it also celebrated her life by continuing to protect and nurture others, just as she had protected and nurtured it. Today, Neo still guards Earth and the solar system, but it also teaches young scientists about the universe and helps them understand that different doesn't mean dangerous. Alien children from across the galaxy come to learn from the creature that chose love over violence. Sometimes, when Neo looks at the stars, it remembers the day it hatched and saw Lisa's face. For the first time, it remembers feeling lost and alone in a strange world. But Lisa had seen something in Neo that even Neo hadn't known was there. The capacity to choose kindness over cruelty. Protection over predation, family over solitude. Neo had learned that being the galaxy's deadliest predator didn't matter. What mattered was being Earth's most devoted guardian and humanity's most loyal family member. And that choice, made with love and reinforced with trust, had changed not just Neo's life, but the entire galaxy's understanding of what family truly means.